Up to 35% of Basque people have Rh-negative blood. And Rh-negative blood is one of the most unusual blood types.
Have you ever wondered why some people have Rh-negative blood? It turns out scientists have made a mind-blowing discovery that's got everyone buzzing. They've uncovered something totally unexpected about this blood type. What makes this rare blood type so different? Join us as we reveal what scientists just found out about Rh-negative blood type that shocked everyone. The obscure bloodline of the Basque people. In a unique region between the Atlantic coast of France and the mountains of Spain, you'll find the Basque people. Their heritage is intriguing and mysterious, with customs, culture, and a language all their own. What makes them stand out is a rare blood type and genetic composition that has baffled researchers for a long time. The Basque people are recognized for their unique heritage. They speak a language called Euskara that is not connected to any other language. This language stands out on its own, puzzling linguists. In addition to their language, their genetic background is also fascinating. Scientists have been studying their DNA for years to figure out why they are distinctive compared to other Europeans. Many Europeans have genetic markers from ancient migrations, such as the Indo-Europeans, but the Basques are unique because their DNA doesn't show much mixing. Instead, they seem to have a strong link to Europe's earliest hunter-gatherers who lived on the continent before farming communities. The Basques may be direct descendants of these early humans. One of the fascinating discoveries related to genetics is the presence of a unique trait in the Basque population when it comes to blood. A large percentage of people in the Basque region have Rh-negative blood, which is relatively rare globally. Unlike most people who are Rh positive and have a specific protein on their red blood cells, Rh-negative individuals lack this protein. This variation can lead to challenges during pregnancy and blood transfusions, making it a trait that has been extensively researched. The high occurrence of Rh-negative blood among the Basques is still not fully understood. Some experts speculate that it may have ancient origins, possibly dating back to the time of the Neanderthals. Neanderthals were an ancient human species that inhabited Europe before modern humans. Despite their extinction long ago, remnants of their genetic material can still be found in some individuals today. This raises an intriguing question. Is the Rh-negative blood type possibly inherited from Neanderthals? This idea has caught the interest of researchers, although it is not stated conclusively. The Basques, who have a close connection to ancient European groups, could provide valuable insights. Their territory, ancestry, and genetic makeup appear to reflect a time predating the development of modern societies. When scientists study the Basque genome closely, they discover various rare traits such as a higher occurrence of blood type O, which is an ancient indicator. These unique characteristics support the theory that the Basques have maintained a very old genetic heritage, possibly tracing back to the Paleolithic era. Essentially, the Basques could be one of the few remaining connections to Europe's earliest inhabitants. The relationship between Rh-negative blood and Neanderthals has not been confirmed, but it is becoming increasingly fascinating to researchers. Studying the Basque people reveals not only a distinctive culture, but also offers insights into ancient history. Their genetic material may hold clues about ancient Europe that have yet to be unraveled. As we keep investigating these mysteries, one thing is clear. The Basques are not just a group of people with a unique language or uncommon blood types. They are a unique puzzle, a special connection to a past world that links us to a distant past. Maybe by following this connection, we can eventually uncover answers to our ancient questions about our identity and origins. Now let's look into the impact this rare blood type has on women. The hidden danger in a mother's blood. In a mother's blood, there is something mysterious and powerful that is not commonly thought about, unless there is a need for a blood transfusion or donation. For some women, especially those with rare blood types, the type of blood they have can impact their children in serious ways. The discovery and solution to this issue is both sad and inspiring. First, let's talk about a rare blood type called B negative. Only a small number of people, about 2%, have this blood type, which is part of a larger category known as Rh negative. Roughly 15 to 18% of the population belongs to this group. The unique thing about Rh negative blood is that it does not have a protein called the Rh factor on red blood cells. Although this protein is typically not harmful, its absence can lead to severe complications during pregnancy. Your blood type usually doesn't impact your health, but for women with Rh negative blood, it can become a concern during pregnancy.
Rh negative blood is one of the most unusual blood types.
If the father of the baby has Rh positive blood, the baby may also be Rh positive, leading to potential issues. During pregnancy or at birth, the mother's and the baby's blood can mix, especially if the mother experiences a fall or injury. If the mother is Rh negative and the baby is Rh positive, the mother's immune system becomes alert and sees the baby's blood as foreign and to be fought against. Even if the first baby is usually born safely, the mother's body starts producing special antibodies to attack any Rh positive blood in the future. This immune response is known as alloimmunization.
When the foreign antigen of same species enter in the other body, that body forms antibody against that particular antigen.
Initially, people were clueless about the situation. In the past, mothers would have a healthy child, only to tragically lose the following ones. The reasons for these losses were often unknown. It was a perplexing mystery why some women experienced the joy of one pregnancy, but the sorrow of the next. This recurring pattern troubled families for generations. Medical professionals were unable to offer explanations. The suffering persisted. Rh disease was not officially named until the year 1939. However, at that time, knowledge about the disease was still quite limited. In the mid-1940s, the problem began to gain attention in newspapers, with some articles suggesting the possibility of a cure. Despite these glimmers of hope, actual treatments for the disease were not yet developed. Women, such as the grandmother in this story, were still giving birth to children without any assistance or protection from the disease. As a result, many families continued to experience sorrow and hardship due to Rh disease.
Well, this is where you have a mother who is Rh negative, and she's carrying a baby that is Rh positive.
In the late 1950s, there was a shift happening as scientists globally were tackling the issue of preventing the body's negative immune response. Their goal was to intervene early to prevent the mother's body from developing sensitivities that led to Rh disease. This idea mandated bravery and innovative thinking to be tested accurately. In New York, a young doctor named John Gorman discovered something intriguing while reading a medical textbook. The book hinted that the antibodies responsible for causing harm could potentially hold the solution. John pondered on the possibility of giving antibodies before the body triggered a reaction, which could potentially stop the immune system from attacking altogether. This idea, although straightforward, had the potential to be revolutionary. Gorman teamed up with obstetrician Vincent Frieda to come up with a plan to help Rh negative women. Their idea was to give these women antibodies after childbirth to prevent their immune systems from reacting to Rh positive blood from the baby. This would trick the immune system into thinking everything was okay. Before the treatment could be made available to the public, they need to conduct tests. To do this, they chose to use the Sing Sing Correctional Facility in New York. Although the prison had a notorious past for housing dangerous criminals, it was now being used for important research. A group of male inmates with Rh negative blood willingly participated in a study. They were given injections of Rh positive cells along with a special serum created by Gorman and Frieda. The outcomes were impressive, as the antibodies performed as expected and kept the immune system from reacting. There were no issues with sensitization, signifying that the treatment was successful and harmless for the participants. A new medical standard was created as a result of this success. Nowadays, mothers who are Rh negative receive an injection of Rh immune globulin within 72 hours of having an Rh positive baby. This simple and timely measure has saved many lives. What used to be a puzzling issue causing a lot of grief is now easily solved with a single medicine injection. Just a few decades ago, people didn't know how to stop this hidden danger. Families suffered from loss, and doctors were unsure. But with careful observation and brave efforts from scientists and volunteers, a solution was discovered. The tale of Rh disease is more than just about blood. It's about love, loss, hope, and the drive to protect the most fragile among us. Now, mothers who have Rh-negative blood can have a positive outlook for their pregnancies. Their babies can be born healthy and robust. This once tragic situation is now a manageable part of modern medicine, ensuring the safety of new lives on a daily basis. Where could this rare blood type have generated from? Let's look into it more. A mysterious link. Human blood is categorized into different types based on two main systems, the ABO system and the Rh factor. The ABO system categorizes blood into groups such as A, B, AB, and O. Another crucial factor in blood typing is the Rh factor, which can be either positive or negative and holds significant importance. The Rh factor indicates whether a specific protein is present on the surface of red blood cells. If the protein is present, the individual is Rh positive, and if it is absent, the individual is Rh negative. The Rh factor was initially identified in a species of monkey known as the rhesus monkey, which is where the name Rh originated from. During research on these monkeys, scientists identified a particular protein on their red blood cells. It was later found that this same protein, or lack thereof, could also be found in humans, and it plays a significant role in comprehending the functions of our blood. Approximately 85% of the global population has Rh-positive blood, indicating that they carry a specific protein on their red blood cells. The remaining 15% are Rh-negative, which means they do not possess this protein. While it may not seem significant, the Rh-negative trait has intrigued researchers for a considerable amount of time. Interestingly, the distribution of Rh-negative blood varies greatly among different regions worldwide. Europe is a standout region, particularly among the Basques. The Basques predominantly live in a small area between Spain and France, in the western part of the Pyrenees Mountains. What sets them apart is their high prevalence of Rh-negative blood. Researchers have long been perplexed by why this particular group of people, residing in a relatively compact area, displays this uncommon trait so often. Many theories have been proposed to explain the strange pattern of the Rh-negative trait among the Basques. Some speculate that this unique genetic characteristic might have connections to ancient and unusual origins. The Basque people stand out as genetically different from other European populations. This distinctiveness has prompted researchers to wonder if the Rh-negative blood type has ancient roots. Could it possibly be tied to early European civilizations that existed before modern society emerged? One common topic in discussions about ancient European genes is the Neanderthals. These early humans inhabited Europe long before modern humans did. At one point in history, Neanderthals and modern humans coexisted, interacted, and even interbred. As a result, many people today carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA in their genetic makeup. Neanderthals are believed to have passed on certain characteristics to modern humans, such as different skin types, hair textures, and changes in the immune system. Some scientists have suggested that the Rh-negative blood trait may have also originated from Neanderthals, though this theory is not yet proven. If Neanderthals had an early version of the Rh-negative blood type and passed it down through interbreeding with early humans, it could potentially explain why certain groups, like the Basques, have a higher prevalence of this trait. There is another possible explanation that involves genetic drift. Genetic drift is a natural process that occurs when small populations are isolated for a time frame. Occasionally, certain traits become more prevalent in a group by chance. This is not due to the trait being superior or inferior, but because of how genes are inherited in isolated communities with limited outside interaction. During the last glacial maximum, which took place around 26,000 to 19,000 years ago, A large part of Europe was covered in ice and experienced very cold temperatures. Due to this, many human groups migrated to warmer regions in the south. One of the places they settled was the Iberian Peninsula, which is now Spain and Portugal. The populations that lived there were probably isolated from other groups for many years. In these isolated communities, unique traits like Rh-negative blood may have become more prevalent due to random factors and minimal interaction with other groups. After the ice melted and people started moving again, they took their genetic traits with them. Areas that remained isolated, like the Basque region, likely maintained unique genetic features, such as Rh-negative blood. This could be the reason why the Basques still have a high percentage of this blood type today. There is a chance that Rh-negative blood had advantages in the past.
They don't have any Rh-negative. Where did Rh-negative evolve then?
Research indicates that individuals with Rh-negative blood may have immune systems that are slightly different. These differences might have helped people fight off diseases or survive in certain environments, which could be why the trait persisted in some populations. While being Rh-negative can be problematic during pregnancy, as an Rh-negative mother carrying an Rh-positive baby may develop antibodies that can harm the baby, the immune advantages may have outweighed the risks.
And this will cause mom's body to create these antibodies.
In close-knit communities that intermarried, the trait could have continued to exist and even become more prevalent over time. The Basques have been living on their own for a long time. Their language is unique and not similar to any other European language. Their culture and customs are also different. Many researchers think that the Basques are one of the oldest groups in Europe. Their ancestors might have been in the area even before farming began, and possibly before modern humans took over from Neanderthals. Researchers find the rich history of these people fascinating. Their genes, traditions, and blood types offer insights into their ancient past. The presence of the Rh-negative blood type could provide important clues linking them to a time that predates recorded history. The origin of the Rh-negative trait is still unknown, which makes it a fascinating mystery. Some believe it may have originated from Neanderthals and passed down through interbreeding. Others think it could have developed in isolated Ice Age populations and survived due to genetic drift. Another theory is that it may have provided an advantage in certain climates by boosting immunity. Despite the uncertainty, the Rh-negative trait serves as a significant connection to our history. The Basques are a unique group of people, with a high prevalence of Rh-negative blood being just one of the factors that set them apart. Scientists see them as a way to study how ancient genes can be passed down over time through generations. Ultimately, the tale of Rh-negative blood goes beyond just the realm of science and biology. It delves into the realms of human beings, historical events, and the instinct to survive. This phenomenon highlights how even a tiny detail like a protein on a red blood cell can reveal a much larger narrative, one that speaks of our ancestors, their journeys during the Ice Age, and their ability to adapt to varying environments. When examining the Basques, it becomes apparent how a solitary characteristic can serve as a gateway to uncovering our intricate and captivating origins. But how was this discovered? Stay with us as we unveil more about this discovery. A gentle hero in the world of blood. The field of medicine is filled with stories that have impacted our lives in significant ways. One such story involves a doctor named Dr. Philip Levine, who made a big difference in the field of obstetrics. Instead of working in a busy lab, Dr. Levine made his discovery in the quiet and sacred environment of the womb. His dedication and kindness helped save many lives of both mothers and babies through his groundbreaking discovery. Before the 90s, many infants passed away either before or shortly after they were born, and doctors were often unsure of the reasons why. Additionally, pregnant women also experienced unknown illnesses during pregnancy and childbirth. During this time, there were many unresolved questions in the medical field. However, a breakthrough occurred when scientists found out that blood is not universal, but rather comes in different types. This new knowledge revolutionized how doctors practiced medicine, particularly in hospitals and during surgeries. The discovery of blood groups and the Rh factor was a significant advancement made by scientist Karl Landsteiner and his team at the Rockefeller Institute. They found out that blood carries antigens, which determine blood type, and one of these antigens is known as the Rh factor. However, this discovery raised more questions about the function and importance of the Rh factor in different individuals. Dr. Philip Levine became involved in this field. He was born in Russia in 19 and moved to the United States when he was 8 years old. After completing his medical studies at Cornell University in 1923, he joined Karl Landsteiner's laboratory, where he delved into the study of blood. His research in the early years influenced his career path and knowledge of blood groups. Dr. Levine conducted research at the University of Wisconsin-Madison from 1932 to 1935. Then, he joined Newark Beth Israel Medical Center. His interest in blood groups grew, and in 1944, he became the director of the Biological Division at Ortho Research Foundation. He helped establish a center focused on blood group research, which later was named after him as the Philip Levine Laboratories. In 1965, he retired, but his work and impact lived on in the medical community. He was recognized by the National Academy of Sciences and the Royal College of Physicians in London. Levine also served as president of the American Society of Human Genetics. In 1969, an award was named after him to acknowledge excellence in clinical research. He passed away in 1987, but his legacy had already made a global impact. In 1937, a significant moment in his career and medical history occurred for Dr. Levine. While at Newark Beth Israel Hospital, he and colleague Rufus Stetson encountered a tragic situation involving a stillborn baby with unknown causes. The mother, who had lost a significant amount of blood during delivery, received a transfusion using the father's blood, as both parents had type O blood, which was thought to be a safe option. Surprisingly, the mother had a severe negative response to the transfusion, causing concern among the doctors. Dr. Levine was confused about how two people with the same blood type could have such an adverse reaction. He started to think that there may be more to blood than just the common A, B, AB, and O types. He suspected that the father's blood contained an unknown antigen that triggered the mother's immune system. Eventually, Karl Landsteiner's research on the Rh factor shed light on the situation for Dr. Levine. He understood that the Rh antigen might be the cause of the mother's reaction and the baby's tragic death. In 1941, Dr. Levine published a groundbreaking paper that explained how the Rh factor could lead to a serious condition in pregnant women and their babies. This condition, known as hemolytic disease of the newborn, was responsible for numerous infant deaths in the U.S. each year. Dr. Levine theorized that the issue arose when the baby inherited the Rh factor from the father, but the mother did not possess it. This difference caused the mother's immune system to view the baby's blood as a foreign substance, prompting the production of antibodies that attacked the baby's red blood cells. These harmful antibodies could pass through the placenta and harm the baby, sometimes even before birth. Dr. Levine's research helped doctors identify pregnancies that were at risk and understand why. He discovered that a small amount of the baby's blood could enter the mother's bloodstream during pregnancy, causing the immune system to react. While this may not pose a threat during the first occurrence, subsequent pregnancies with Rh-positive babies could become increasingly dangerous. The mother's body would develop a stronger response to the Rh factor with each pregnancy, putting future pregnancies at higher risk. He researched how widespread this condition was. In populations with more Rh-negative individuals, such as Caucasian populations, about 1 in 10 pregnancies had Rh incompatibility. The risk of Rh disease was relatively low in first pregnancies. However, the risk of a severe reaction increased with each subsequent Rh-incompatible pregnancy. Thanks to Dr. Levine's findings, Scientists started looking for ways to prevent the issue.
Who knows? But the fact is that Rh negative people, and again, there's 15% of them on this planet.
A vaccine was created in the 1960s with antibodies to prevent the mother's immune system from harming the baby. This vaccine is still in use today and has greatly reduced Rh disease in developed nations. It shields the mother by preventing her from producing harmful antibodies. Treatments are available for mothers who are already sensitized to manage the condition and save the baby's life. Dr. Levine received the Albert Lasker Clinical Medical Research Award in 1946 for his contributions. He was given the award along with Carl Landsteiner, John Mahoney, and Alexander Weiner. Their discoveries were praised for saving lives. Dr. Levine didn't want attention. He was focused on his work, which was meticulous and motivated by a deep concern for human life. He searched for answers in unusual places, such as the blood connection between a mother and her child. His inquisitiveness and compassion led to a breakthrough that offered hope to families everywhere. Thanks to Dr. Levine's commitment, he transformed a tragic puzzle into a problem that could be solved. He provided doctors with the tools needed to safeguard unborn babies and contributed to a future where more mothers could have healthy pregnancies. Dr. Levine's journey, from a young boy in Russia to a celebrated figure in the medical field, serves as a reminder of the significant impact one individual can have when driven by a love for life. A timeless legacy and deep roots. The Basque people have a unique and important role in Europe's history. The most interesting part of their identity is their language, called Euskara. This language is different from any other in Europe or elsewhere in the world. Experts refer to it as a language isolate, meaning it is not related to any known language family. Euskara does not have any clear connections, similar branches, or obvious beginnings. This distinctiveness makes Euskara special and mysterious, enhancing the rich heritage of the Basque people. Many experts think Euskara might be from a time before modern European languages existed. They believe it could date back to when hunter-gatherers lived in Europe, before Indo-European languages spread. Although there is no direct evidence linking Euskara to the languages of ancient people, its survival is significant. It indicates that Basque culture has maintained its origins for a long time, resisting assimilation with dominant cultures. The Basque people show strong genes and resilience, which can be traced back to their ancestors. The DNA of people who lived in Europe during the Ice Age, specifically the Western hunter-gatherers, has been studied by scientists. These ancient people had unique genetic traits. Unlike most Europeans who have mixed with different groups over time, the Basques have retained a closer connection to their ancient ancestors. They still have a significant amount of DNA from the early hunter-gatherers, more than any other group in Europe. This implies something incredible. During the Ice Age, when Europe was covered in ice and snow, some human groups disappeared or relocated, but others remained in places with milder climates. The Iberian Peninsula, which comprises modern Spain and Portugal, was one of the primary safe havens during this difficult period. People in this region were able to survive, adapt, and maintain their way of life, thanks to the protection from extreme cold weather. The Basque region, found in the northern parts of Spain and southern parts of France, was a safe haven for ancient people. While the rest of Europe faced difficulties, the Basque region provided shelter, food, and strength for its inhabitants. Despite the harsh conditions caused by ice covering the continent, the people in this region survived. They lived in close-knit communities and preserved their culture, language, and genetic heritage through generations. As the ice slowly melted and new groups of people moved across Europe, early Iberian groups were often displaced or assimilated into larger groups. However, in the Basque region, something unique occurred. The people there maintained their distinct way of life, which helped preserve their culture and language. Their genetic makeup remained largely unchanged as well. The modern-day inhabitants of Basque country are closely linked, genetically, to the ancient Ice Age hunter-gatherers. This connection makes them a direct link to the past. The story is made more interesting by the fact that Neanderthals used to live in the Iberian Peninsula. Neanderthals were a different type of humans who lived in Europe before modern humans. They disappeared about 40,000 years ago, but some may have survived in places like Iberia for longer. Some experts think that small groups of Neanderthals may have still been alive around 25,000 years ago. This could mean they coexisted with early modern humans, maybe even the ancestors of the Basque people today. Interestingly, a lot of Basques have a more robust and muscular physique compared to people in neighboring areas. This physical characteristic is similar to the strong bodies of Neanderthals and Western hunter-gatherers. It may indicate genetic traits that have been passed down through many generations, possibly even from these ancient ancestors. Alternatively, it could be influenced by the rough terrain where the Basques reside, which is filled with hills and mountains. Living in such challenging terrain may have contributed to the development of strong and resilient bodies over time. In any case, it adds another interesting aspect to the puzzle. The history of the Basque people is not just a fact in a history book, but a living link to Europe's past. Despite the many changes that have occurred in Europe over thousands of years, such as the rise and fall of empires, and the spread and disappearance of languages, the Basques have endured. They provide a window into a time when people hunted in forests, spoke unique languages, and possessed the knowledge necessary to survive in a harsh and cold world. The ancient hunter-gatherer DNA found in the Basques is more than just a scientific detail. It signifies a story of resilience, power, and the determination to preserve their heritage. While other cultures evolved or disappeared, the Basques remained connected to their origins. They kept their language, customs, and land intact, preserving a deep connection to their ancient past without needing to express it in words. Today, in the towns and hills of Basque country, you can still sense the rich history of the region. This history is not explicitly written on signs or explained on tours, but rather it is evident in the way people live, talk, and behave. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.